Just in time for the holidays comes the new animated film David from Angel Studios. Does this film exceed my expectations? Well, let's find out.
They may have been bigger than even I thought.
Hi, my name is Bob and welcome to another review here on Was It Good? And today we're going to be talking about the new animated film David from Angel Studios. Now this is going to be a spoiler-free review, but if you've seen the film already, why don't you go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought about the film. And if you haven't seen it, why don't you let me know what your interest level is. Let's get to it. In a fear-ruled kingdom, a young shepherd named David dares to face a giant and the darkness behind him. His courage awakens a nation, proving that true strength comes from trust and not power. Now, this movie was actually a little difficult to review. One of the reasons is this is the second biblical adaptation on David that I've reviewed this year, and so I had to keep that out of my mind. Also, when it comes to animated biblical adaptations, I got to admit that The Prince of Egypt set the bar pretty high. So I tried to imagine what a kid would think of this and what a parent who's taking a child to see this would want in a film. And based on the trailers, this looked like it would be something that would be a faith-based alternative that parents could safely take their kids to and that kids would enjoy. Did it meet those expectations? First off, I thought that the animation was pretty good. This isn't the best animation I've ever seen, but there were several parts of it that were very impressive. One example is this scene where David goes to pick the stones that he's going to use for his battle with Goliath, and he walks out onto the field, and the way that that looks is very eye-catching. And then there are several details I thought that they did a really good job with, like bringing out the emotions of certain characters, or how you can see whiskers on the face from certain portions of the beard. And so I really thought that they did a great job with the animation, and I think it's something that kids will really like. Next, I think that the film has some pretty good messages and some themes. It's got this idea of overcoming a giant in your life and trusting in God and having loyalty and how power can corrupt and what it means to be a true leader. And so there's all these messages and themes and ideas that I think a parent would be very comfortable with showing their kid. So if you're looking for something that's got a faith-based element and has very positive messages, this is going to have all of those. Also, this is a musical, and I do think that the songs for the most part were pretty good. Now, did one in particular stand out? Not really to me, but overall, I thought each one was solid. The voices were good, the music was fine, and so I think a kid can really get behind these songs. And finally, is David an engaging story that kids will enjoy? Well, I don't have any young kids that I could take to the movie and get their opinions, but in the theater, I was looking over at this one particular group of kids, and they kept asking questions to their parents saying, well, what is happening here? Why is this going on? And so they seem to be pretty engaged in the story. So I do think that the story overall is something that kids are going to enjoy. It's got the animation, the songs, and all of that, but the story itself is something that I do think will catch their attention. Now, there are a couple things to mention here. If you're a purist when it comes to adaptations, you're probably going to be a little disappointed because this does take some creative license. Now, again, I saw House of David earlier this year and I reviewed that, and I think that's a much better adaptation of David's life, but this is for kids and I do think that it serves its purpose. Also, I do think that the story would have been much better if the buildup had just been to his fight with Goliath and that be the finale. Instead, the second half of the film focuses on him as a young adult, and I think that would have been better served in a sequel. So the first film being the buildup to his fight with Goliath and a second film being what happened after. And finally, I do think that when it comes to biblical adaptations for animation, this is far below The Prince of Egypt. I don't think that this even gets close to that. And again, that's probably something I should have left out of my mind. I really tried to do so, but that's very difficult. But overall, I do think, again, this is something that a kid will enjoy. Real quick, before I get into my final thoughts, I want to remind everyone to go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel. Maybe I've reviewed something that you're interested in, or something that you've seen already and you'd like to let me know what you thought about it. Also, for those that are interested, every Tuesday here on this channel, I do have a live stream with a couple of my friends where we put on a show called Dad's Turn to Talk. This is an opportunity for three dads to get together and talk about the things that we want to talk about, including movies, sports, pop culture, and have a little bit of fun at each other's expense. You can check that out every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern. Final thoughts. Was it good? I thought David was a decent film that was actually better than I expected. It had some pretty good animation, a lot of good messages, and overall, if you're a parent taking your kid to see this, I think you can feel safe about it. I also think that kids are going to have a good time with it because they're going to see the animation, but they're going to be engaged with the story. So if you've got young ones and you're looking for a faith-based alternative to take them to, I say go ahead and check it out because it is holiday season and this is the type of film that's perfect for that. Now, if you're still watching this long, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.